I had finally reached the lowest bottom of my entire life. I was experiencing the most pain, the most alone I've ever felt, the most afraid I've ever felt. And I couldn't do anything to change any of my external circumstances. There was a major discomfort in my life. I never felt like I measured up in any way. I had friends, I had talents, I wasn't overweight or anything like that. I just had this sense of insecurities. I sought an escape from reality in different ways consistently. And eventually, at one point, not knowing what the effects would be, I stole some alcohol from my father and committed to drinking it and it gave me some relief. I got into a habit of stealing alcohol from stores and cigarettes and things like that. And I started smoking cigarettes and drinking, and I ended up getting in with a group of people that, you know, smoked pot, sold pot, and basically just kind of did the things that they wanted to do. I felt like these are my people. I belong here. Changing how I felt was the most important thing. Waking up, smoking pot was the first thing I did. I would be late to school because what I wanted to do was go grab my buddy. We would smoke a joint on the way to school, and all of a sudden school wasn't important anymore. All normal life function and responsibilities were secondary to feeling good. I had been arrested, I had been kicked out of school, and I was getting ready to be a father. That pressure is what took me to the next level where, you know, smoking weed was no longer cutting it. That's when the opportunity to use crack cocaine came in. In a desperate move to try to change my current existence, I decided to break up with my son's mother. And that didn't change anything. You know, there were so many times that I would make major changes, whether they were geographical, whether they were a rededication of my life to Christ at church, or this or that or the other, in hopes that moment would be the moment that goes, okay, hey, finally I'm good. You know, it's different now, so now I'll have the motivation to set things down. But it always led back to the same thing. There were many times over the course of 25 years that I would commit to going to rehab. I would say the amount of times that I've been, because I went to places multiple times, was about 15. Eventually I got to a point where I realized that rehabs weren't helping me anymore. Nobody understands why somebody wouldn't stop. And there's really not a great explanation for it. It just is what it is. There are solutions, and eventually that's what I came to. I had to go through a lot of pain for a long time before I got to the place that I am now. From November of 2019 to January 23rd, I wrecked 2 cars, got a DUI, had a major fight with my wife in front of my children. Was just as bad as I had ever been. My current wife left, took the kids, and it reminded me of being in the same situation that I had been in 15 years ago, or whatever it was, from my first wife. I continued to use for another couple of months. That time frame, the relationship between my mother and I had gotten really bad, and throughout my entire life, she'd never really given up hope on me. This time, I could tell she was just flat out done and disgusted. Everybody I knew wasn't talking to me anymore. I had finally reached the lowest bottom of my entire life, and I couldn't do anything to change any of my external circumstances. The only thing I could do was get involved with a group of people who were like me, who were willing to accept me and love me. And that's what I did. Zoe has been a huge part of my recovery. There were times where I needed to be there and share what was going on, you know, and hear them say, even if things aren't going to be all right, they're going to be all right. To talk about scriptures, to talk about the love of Jesus. Unashamed, and boldly. Mark and Craig Lopez and a couple other guys, you know, they were just great to be with. The acceptance was so overpowering that the voice inside of your head that tells you you're not accepted was diminished greatly. I'm here, I'm 18 months clean, but don't let that fool you into believing that things are hunky-dory. You know, I still have days, I still have weeks, but I have solutions today. I have community that I can surround myself with. I have many resources, Zoe being one of them. My solution is no longer drugs and alcohol, but it is better, and it does get better. I thought that I would never get to the point where I'm at now, but I have. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried and failed, there's still hope. Hey, my name's Chris, and I'm finally experiencing freedom.